guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to tell you how to calculate the profit in the short run in some types of market. Basically, there are two approaches to calculate the profit. The first one is the total approach. Because this is total approach, so to calculate the profit will equal the total revenue minus the total cost. The total revenue here, we get it from the price of goods that we sold times the quantity sold. And the total cost here, we got it from the total fixed cost added by the total variable cost. If we make it in a curve, first, you have to make a curve like this. This is the revenue or cost, and this is the quantity sold. First, how to make the total fixed cost? The total fixed cost, because this is fixed, so the amount of money will be same. So it's like a horizontal line here with the X here. And how to make the total variable cost? Total variable cost means if you produce more goods, your cost will be bigger. So it comes like this one. So the total cost is the additional of total fixed cost and total variable cost. And the curve will start from the total fixed cost and it will be in line with the total variable cost. This is total cost. So after that, you have to count the total revenue, and if you add the total revenue, the graph will be like this one. So this is a total revenue, start from the zero like this, and this one. This is total revenue. So where is the maximum profit? If you see the total cost line is upper than the total revenue, then we get lost here. Your company will get lost here. But if you see the total cost and total revenue are in the same quantity like this one, the total cost and total revenue is same like this one. So if you produce in A, it means you will achieve the break-even point. So here, when the total revenue outnumbers the total cost, it means profit is here. The more difference of total revenue comparing with the total cost means the bigger profit you get. So the maximum profit is, you can get the maximum profit if your total revenue is upper your total cost. Your total revenue outnumbers your total cost. So the total revenue is upper than total cost. And for this one, this is B, means maximum profit. And this one is the second break-even point. So if you produce more than C, you will get loss again because your total revenue below your total cost. So this is the total approach. Next, the second approach. The second approach called the marginal approach. We call it marginal approach because here, if you want to calculate the maximum profit equals, or the maximum profit happens when the marginal revenue equals marginal cost. I will give you example in perfect competition market. In perfect competition market, you will see the one and only special line, which is horizontal like this. This horizontal line will only appear in perfect competition market, and this horizontal line represents the demand equals the price equals the average revenue and equals the marginal revenue. So even I only write the demand, it still represents three of them. Even I only write the price, it still represents three of them. So this is quantity and this is revenue or cost. So remember, this horizontal line will only appear in perfect competition market curve, not in other type of market. So let's see the marginal cost line. The marginal cost line will always in this shape. So it's like a check shape, but you know, it's not really sharp here in the down. So this is marginal cost. So if you want to maximize your profit in perfect competition market, you have to produce your product when the marginal cost equal the marginal revenue. So this one, if you want to get the maximum profit, you have to produce your product as many as, let's say, X here. So this is the maximum profit. You will get the maximum profit in the short run, of course. So how to calculate how much is the profit you get? First, you have to know the location of your average cost curve. Let's draw the average cost curve. Be careful to draw the average cost curve because you have to draw the below or the, what is that, the lowest part of average cost has to be in marginal cost, like this one. Wait, like this one. Is this average cost? The lowest part of average cost has to cross the marginal cost, like this one. You also can write, or you also can draw the average variable cost. If you want to draw the average variable cost, it has to be below the average cost, of course, and it is in line with average cost, like this one. Only if you want to draw the average variable cost. If you don't want to draw it, that's okay, because if the market is in profit condition, the average variable cost doesn't matter. It only matters if the market is in loss condition. So how to know how much the profit here? First, you have to know the cross between marginal cost and marginal revenue, and you draw the line like this. This is a vertical line to know or to determine the product you have to sold, if you have to produce, if you want to get the maximum profit. Then, so this is the average revenue here. How to know it is profit or not? You have to see the position of average cost. If in this red line, the position of average cost below the position of average revenue, it means you get the profit. How much is the profit? You just need to make a line here. So your profit is in this orange square. So let's say this is the price. This is 1000 and this is 800 and this is X equals, let's say, 100. So how much is the profit per unit? The profit per unit equals the total 1000 minus 800 equals 200. This is the profit per unit. And how to calculate the total profit? The total profit will be 1000 minus 800 times the quantity sold, or the quantity produced. 100 equals 200 times 100 equals 20,000. So what is 1,000 and what is 800? 1,000 is the average revenue. 800 is the average cost. So 2,000 is the average profit. So if you times the average profit with the quantity, you will get the total profit. So your total profit will be 20,000. This is the market in the supernormal profit. So we call this condition of curve, this curve called, the market is in supernormal profit. Okay, so the supernormal profit only faced by the perfect competition market in the short run, but in the long run the perfect competition market only can get the normal profit. And what is the condition, or what is the graph that illustrates the normal profit in perfect competition market? Let's check out this second curve. Okay, next we are going to try to make a curve which has a normal profit in perfect competition market, of course. So to make the normal profit in perfect competition market, the first step is same as the supernormal profit. So you have to draw first the marginal cost. Then you draw the vertical line in the cross of marginal cost and marginal revenue. It represents the maximum profit. So you will get the maximum profit if you produce as much as this one. So let's say this is 100. Okay, so how to draw the normal profit? Normal profit will happen when the average revenue equals average cost. So you have to draw the average cost exactly same as the average revenue, like this one. So this is average cost. And if you want to draw the average variable cost, it will be okay as far as the average variable cost is drawn below the average cost, of course, like this one. So if your company in this position, it means your company will get the normal profit. And the normal profit is the profit the companies in perfect competition market will get in the long run. So how about the loss? How if your company get loss? Can you guess how to draw it? I think you have understood how to draw it, because it is going to be super easy for you right now. As far as you understand the concept, I think it will be easy for you to draw the loss in perfect competition market. So the way is still same. First you have to draw the marginal cost first, because you need to know the maximum profit will happen if you produce this one, let's say 100. So it's not has to be 100. You can change the number as many as you want. You can change it in any number if you want. Okay, so if this is loss, it means your cost will be bigger than your revenue. So your average cost has to be bigger than your average revenue. So you have to draw it above the average revenue line, like this one. So you draw your average cost above your average revenue. If you draw it like this, so you will understand that if you get the curve like this one, it means your company face the loss. As far as the average variable cost below the average revenue like this one, it will be okay to continue the company, because even they get lost, they still can pay their variable cost. So if you get lost but your average variable cost still below your average revenue, it will be okay for the company to continue the production. So this is loss, but this is not the end of the company's life. And how much is the loss? How to calculate the loss? To calculate the loss, you have to take a look at this vertical line, and you have to compare between the average cost with the average revenue, because the average cost is bigger than average revenue in this one. So you have to draw the graph here. So the orange line here is your loss. So for example, like before, let's say your total cost is 1,500, but your total revenue is your average cost is 1,500, but your average revenue is only, let's say, 700. So your loss per unit equals your average cost 1,500 minus your average revenue. So your loss per unit is 800. So how to calculate your total loss? So your loss per unit times the quantity equals 80,000. So this is your total loss. Easy, right? Okay, so how about you get a big loss until you cannot continue the production, or you cannot run your company for more time? So it's called the shutdown point. How to draw it? I will tell you how to draw the shutdown point after this. Okay, now we're going to draw the shutdown point. This is the point when you get big loss until you cannot continue the production in your company, or you have to shut down your company. Okay, first the ways or the step is same as before. You draw the marginal cost first, and you draw the vertical line in the crossing of marginal cost and marginal revenue. And let's say this is X here. So if you produce in this, so you will get the maximum profit if you get profit. Okay, then because this is loss, so you still have to draw your average cost above the average revenue like before. So this is your average cost. So be careful, if this is the shutdown point, your average variable cost has to be at least same with your average revenue. So if this happens, or your average variable cost way above the average revenue, it means you have to stop to operate your company, because you cannot afford to pay your fixed cost anymore. So this is the shutdown point. This is a big loss, and it is very big until you cannot pay your fixed cost, because your average variable cost has been same with your average revenue. Or the worst position, the worst position is like this, or your average variable cost is above your average revenue. This is same, and this is above. Both position of average variable cost here represents the shutdown point. So you have to stop to operate, because you cannot afford to pay your fixed cost anymore. It means you totally get bankrupt and you have to close your company. It is so sad, but it is the shutdown point. Okay, that's all for the perfect competition market. After this, you can study about the monopoly market, how to draw the loss, the profit, the supernormal profit, the normal profit, and the what's else in the short run in the monopoly market. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how to draw the curve in monopoly market and what is the difference between the monopoly market curve with the perfect competition market curve. Okay, first we make the axis. Of course, the axis will still same, the revenue and cost, and here is the quantity. The difference between the monopoly market with the perfect competition market is in monopoly market and in other market after this you will not see the horizontal line anymore. There is no horizontal line except in perfect competition market. So in monopoly market, the marginal revenue line will be separate with the demand and average revenue and price line. So this is the marginal revenue, this is the demand, average revenue, and the price line. So they are different. Why they are different? Because in monopoly market the price is not as low as the perfect competition market, and the cost is not minimized anymore. The cost is bigger than the perfect competition market, so the marginal revenue will be less than the price, so they will have different curve. It is different from the perfect competition market when the marginal revenue equals the average revenue equals the price and equal the demand. So the point is in another market the marginal revenue will separate or will be different from the demand, average revenue, and price, but the the other curve will be same. What is the other curve? The other curve is the marginal cost curve. So how to determine the maximum profit? It's still same. To determine the maximum profit, you have to pay attention to the cross between marginal cost and marginal revenue. Here you have to make a vertical line to make it easier for you, so that if you produce here in X you will get your maximum profit. And how to calculate the profit here? Okay, to calculate the profit you have to know first where is the position of the average cost. Let's draw the position of average cost when you get the supernormal profit. Okay, I will draw like this one. This is average cost here. So how to determine how much is the supernormal profit you get? Can you guess it? Okay, you have drawn the vertical line here in the crossing of marginal cost and marginal revenue here, and in this vertical line you have to find out where is the average revenue, this one. So the average revenue is in this one. So where is next is the average cost. The average cost is here. See, it means the average revenue is bigger than the average cost. The revenue is bigger than the cost. It means your company get the supernormal profit. How much is your supernormal profit? It's exactly the same calculation with the perfect competition market. Let's say this is 100 and this is like 50 and this is let's say this is 1000 here. So your profit per unit, you can calculate it from average revenue 100 minus the average cost here 50 equals 50. And how much is your total profit? Your total profit is 50, which is the average profit, times the quantity here 1000, so your total profit equals 50,000. Easy. The basic is still same. The difference here is only the marginal revenue separate from the demand, average revenue and profit, but the basic concept of whether it is normal profit, supernormal profit, loss or shutdown point is still same. You have to find out the cross between marginal cost and marginal revenue first, and you draw the vertical line and you identify where is the revenue and where is the cost. If the average cost is above the average revenue, means you get lost. If you get lost, don't forget to identify where is the average variable cost. If the average variable cost still below the average revenue in this vertical line, it means you get lost, but you still can continue your operation in your company. But if you get lost and your average variable cost is above your average revenue in this vertical line, like this one here, you have the average cost here and the average variable cost here way above the average revenue, it means it is a shutdown point when you have to stop your operation in your company, and you have to stop because you don't have any resources anymore to pay your fixed cost, or you will get bankrupt. Okay, and I think you can try to draw the loss condition of monopoly market and also the shutdown point condition in monopoly market, and also the normal profit condition in monopoly market, of course, in the short run. Well, that's all for me today. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.